Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are all really well. So I've got some news for you all. I am pregnant. Feels really weird saying it because a lot of you will know that I have been trying to have a baby for a few years now. We haven't been trying to conceive for a few years, like full on. We have had breaks in between to get married and to go on treks and things like that. But yeah, it's been a bit of a difficult road. We have had miscarriages and ectopic pregnancies. My last miscarriage was November 2018, and it was really difficult. And I actually filmed a video just like this. I must have been about 4 or 5 weeks pregnant, obviously thinking that I would make it live when I was 12 weeks, and sadly that didn't ever happen. I'm hoping this time it's different. I'm touching wood as I speak. I'm hoping this time it's different. I'm trying not to think negatively. I'm trying to think as positive as I can, and obviously we haven't told many people yet, and I am only still 7 weeks today. Well, I think we're 7 weeks today. So yeah, this video still won't be going live for like how many weeks? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5 weeks, which feels like a really long time. But yeah, it feels weird filming something that I know isn't going to go live for another 5 weeks, and in 5 weeks time I'm going to know whether obviously this baby's going to make it to 12 weeks and how I'm going to feel then. But yeah, I thought that I would backdate and make these videos for anybody else in my position, maybe somebody that's had recurrent miscarriages and feels like I do, or if you're newly pregnant, it's your first baby. I know that when I was pregnant I loved watching these updates. I would literally scour YouTube and watch every single weekly update that I could on the week that I was, and it just made me feel like I wasn't alone in the way I was feeling and things like that. And it's also really good to document, to look back on yourself. I know that I've been going back on my blog and trying to see how I felt with Harry, and yeah, just to see if any of my symptoms have been the same. So yeah, I thought that I would make this video, and yeah, it's really strange. I'm so happy. I'm still very cautious. I feel like I'm not quite ready to be buzzing. I'm not quite ready to be super excited because I just worry that I'm getting ahead of myself and something will happen. So let me go back to the beginning, finding out. So I wasn't late on my period, but I pretty much knew from the second I was pregnant that I was pregnant, and the reason I knew is because I had the sorest boobs ever. And I remember this being my main symptom with Harry. I didn't really feel much else for ages with Harry other than really sore boobs, and I don't really have a lot of boobs. They're very flat. They're a small B, but I also get that same symptom when I'm due on my period, which I kind of was obviously during my period. It's also really difficult for me because my cycles since I had my ectopic pregnancy have been very sporadic. So I can get, you know, from anywhere between 28-day cycles to 45-day cycles, and then I started to get a bit more regular with like 33-day cycles, and then it went longer and shorter. So really it was very difficult to know when I was ovulating, even using ovulation sticks, and it's really difficult to know when I was actually due on and when I should be testing. So I kind of went with a 33-day cycle because I think that's what I'd had the month before. So I tested about 5 days early using a clear blue early detection test, because I just wasn't feeling good. I knew something wasn't right, and I thought perhaps it was just a really heavy period coming. I felt really hormonal and snappy. I was feeling quite tired, and I had bloating, and my boobs really hurt. So I did the early detection test, and it came up positive straight away, but very faint. So I was still a little bit like, and you know, straight away you just go on Google and look for clear blue early detection. Like, you look for the line and all these forums, and it pretty much everywhere I was looking was saying, yes, you are pregnant, but test again. So yeah, I did another one the next day, and actually the line was a lot stronger. So I knew I was pregnant, and I burst into tears straight away, not from being so happy. I just was actually so scared. Obviously Scott was really emotional, but he was just so happy, and it was quite overwhelming to me because I just was so scared, and I just don't ever want to feel like I felt when I lost the baby in 2018 or even before that. I didn't ever want to feel like that again. I didn't know if I could actually cope with feeling like that again. So obviously all the emotions hit, and I was really emotional and crying, and yeah, and it was all a bit of a whirlwind. Now, when you've had an ectopic pregnancy like I have had and you've lost a tube, you need to go and speak to your early pregnancy department ASAP as soon as you know you're pregnant, so that they can book you in for an early scan. And that is because people who have had an ectopic pregnancy they have an increased risk of having a future ectopic pregnancy, and also because they only have one tube, the early pregnancy unit want to do everything they can to keep that tube intact. So if you are going to have a future ectopic pregnancy, they want to be able to catch it as soon as possible so that you don't lose your tube. Obviously, if you had an ectopic pregnancy and it ruptured in that tube, it would probably not survive, and then you would be left with no tubes, which would be really obviously hard. So I rang my early pregnancy unit straight away, who actually wanted to see me the following day. But I did say to them, I have no idea how many weeks pregnant I am because my cycles are so sporadic, but probably only very early days. So she said, come in anyway. There's a chance we probably won't be able to see anything, but we'd just like to check. Anyway, so we went in the next morning and we had an internal scan, and I was so nervous because I just already was thinking, oh my god, what if they can see it and it's in the tube? But anyway, they couldn't see anything. They literally looked inside. They could just about see a sac forming, so she could confirm I was pregnant, and she could also see that I had ovulated. Now, the most amazing thing has happened. Basically, I have ovulated from my left ovary, so the egg came from my left ovary, but I have no tube connected to my left ovary. So that egg has got its way over to the the tube that I do have left on the right side, and has managed to be fertilized, which I just think is a miracle. Like, even like the doctors and everything were like, oh my god, that's amazing. And through researching online, it seems like the egg gets released and then travels through tissue, because it's all surrounded by this tissue, into the other side, but they're still not really sure how exactly this all works, which I think is mind-boggling. I mean, my chances of getting pregnant were reduced anyway, because obviously I only have one tube, and then to actually get pregnant from the egg in the left ovary, I just think that that is mind-blowing. So I was really emotional about that, and it felt like quite amazing that my body, you know, was doing everything it could basically to get pregnant. So like I said, they couldn't see anything else other than that, so they couldn't confirm whether the baby was in the womb or in the tube or elsewhere. So they said that I would need to come back. So I had a bit of an agonising wait. I had to wait 2 weeks so that I was a bit further along, and hopefully at least 6 weeks, and they would be able to see something. So we had a long 2 weeks of not really telling anybody, because we were just, you know, we just felt like we should have kept it to ourselves. We didn't really tell our family or anything like that, because we just thought we wanted to give them good news when we would go to the next scan. So fast forward 2 weeks and we had a scan. Let me show you the picture. Say hello to our little baby. Oh, it's so weird. Sorry, the light's really shining on it. So as you can see, this is the sac that it's in. This here is the little baby, and this is the yolk sac. So this is a week ago now, so I'm actually 7 weeks today. So this, they confirmed, the measurements say I'm about 6 weeks last week. Sorry, I'm so out of breath, pregnancy symptom. So yeah, when they were showing us, Scott was like, oh, is that it? And she's like, no, that's it. It's literally the size of a lentil. But what was so amazing, that this little guy here was flashing, where the heartbeat was so strong. Literally, you could see it on screen. It was literally like boom, 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 boom. Couldn't hear it, but we could see it, like a little flash of light. So that was incredible. We were really emotional. Obviously, it just meant that the baby's in the right place, and now we just have to keep it there. So yeah, the scan was a week ago, and today I am 7 weeks pregnant. So let's talk about symptoms. I have been feeling horrendous. I'm actually wearing sick pants. I've had them on. I need to keep moving them up. I've had them on now for a few days, because I'm just feeling constantly sick I don't know if they're really doing anything. I must admit, this morning, I feel like I feel a little bit less sick than I have the other days, but I still feel pretty sick. It's really weird. I've got all day sickness, and I particularly feel really bad first thing in the morning and last thing at night. I don't know if it's because first thing in the morning, obviously my stomach's empty and I need to eat, and then I think because I eat my dinner quite early as well, I think last thing at night, again, my stomach's a bit empty and I maybe need to eat again. So I'm thinking maybe I need to start having like a late snack. I just don't really know what. I'm just not really a big eater in the evenings. If I was going to eat anything, it would be sweets or chocolate, and I really don't want to be doing that. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to start eating like, I don't know, something like a piece of toast or just something before I go to bed to stop me feeling so sick. It's been to the point where I'm like almost getting up to go and be sick. I haven't actually physically been sick, fingers crossed, touching wood. I just feel constantly sick, like constantly nauseous. There's nothing in particular making me feel sick. It's been a couple of times when I've been cooking, like any kind of greasy smells or oily things, or I was going to say cooked vegetables, but actually not cooked vegetables. Meat, cooking meat has made me feel a little bit gross, but my sense of smell is obviously really heightened, so yeah, that's been gross. So yeah, I've been feeling really nauseous. I'm absolutely exhausted, and I don't remember feeling like this with Harry. And with Harry, I didn't really get a lot of nausea either. I had a little bit in the mornings, but by the time I'd had food, I was fine. I am so tired. I have never felt this tired in my life. I feel like I'm more tired than I felt when I had a newborn Harry, and I was really tired then. I'm like waking up in the morning feeling awake for about half an hour, and then I'm just shattered for the rest of the day. I feel like I should start taking naps. I work from home, I could definitely fit in a nap, but I'm just not really a napper. I don't really know how to nap, so I feel like I need to kind of research napping. That sounds really silly, doesn't it? But I need to research how to nap well. Like, I don't want to have like a really long nap and feel really gross. If I can have like a 20-minute burst and then wake up and feel good, then maybe I need to start doing that. I feel like I should make the most of it while I have a child at school. But yeah, I feel like I need a nap. I'm so tired. I've been falling asleep during Love Island, which never happens. I fell asleep in the cinema with Harry the other day, which is just, I never fall asleep at stuff like that. I'm just not really that sort of person. So yeah, definitely tired. But they're all good signs, aren't they? I feel like it's really weird, and you'll probably relate to this if you've had a miscarriage before. I wake up in the morning and straight away I grab my boobs, which sounds really weird, but I want to know that they feel sore still, and I kind of like wait for that sick feeling. And even though obviously I don't want to feel sick, it's really reassuring because I know that I'm still pregnant. I had a little bit of a wobble the weekend just gone, so the weekend just after my 6-week scan. I woke up and I had like this big kind of lump of blood. So straight away I was just like, that's it, you know, something's going on. And I told Scott, and he was worried straight away, and I just had a really anxious day. I literally had nothing, no other symptoms, just this little bit of blood, and then it was gone. But just all day I just felt really low, and I just kept thinking in my head, oh no, something's wrong, like the baby's gonna die, or yeah, I just kept thinking that, which really sucks. And I feel like I probably wouldn't have felt like that had it been my first pregnancy. Yeah, I know people get loads of bleeding in pregnancy and it's quite normal, but for me, obviously, it's gonna freak me out, and I did freak out for a good couple of days, but hopefully everything's fine. I definitely still feel pregnant, and I haven't had any other symptoms, which is great. We haven't told Harry yet. We're going to tell him at 12 weeks so that we can show him a proper picture, and obviously hopefully we'll be more in the safe zone then. I'm so excited to tell him. Literally, he loves babies so much. He's obsessed with my best friend's little boy. I feel like the novelty might wear off when the baby comes along, but he is desperate for a sibling. He's a lonely single child, so yeah. What's the word? Single child? No, it's not single, is it? Only child. He's definitely a bit of a lonely only child. He needs someone to keep him company. So hopefully it all works out. So yeah, I think that's it. I wanted to say thank you in advance, because I know you're all going to have lovely things to say, and you're always all so supportive. If you're on a conceiving journey or trying for a baby, then hang in there. I know how it feels. I always feel really, I don't know, I feel like conscious about filming stuff like this now and posting stuff about pregnancy, because I know how it feels when you've had a miscarriage and you're really trying for a baby and you see all these people that are pregnant and all these pictures. So obviously I will be doing that, but I just rest assured that I do feel really conscious of it, and I know that it doesn't always make everyone else feel great. But obviously I have been trying for this baby a long time. It's very wanted and it's been a difficult road to get there. But yeah, I hope that it happens for you too if you are trying. Anyway, I feel like this video is long enough as it is, so I will see you in my next video. Bye.